Alright everybody, welcome back to Only Divergences. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to look for in Alibaba's technical chart for a potential massive move. Are we going to get a nice tradable bounce? When should I take profits? Stick around and find out. Before we start, as always, I want to thank you for watching this video, liking and subscribing to my channel. As you know, this channel, we only discuss technical analysis and specifically divergent momentum patterns, so let's get to it. A small disclaimer, of course, that this is not investment advice or should be construed as a solicitation to buy or sell any securities. I want to educate you, the viewer, about the power of technical analysis and ignoring the news. Furthermore, I do not hold a position in Alibaba at the time of this recording. Today is Monday, September 27th, 2021. It is just 3:50 p.m. where markets are about to close. We are looking at a candlestick chart of Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA, trades on the NYSE with the exponential moving averages, the MACD indicator, and the more sensitive DMI or directional movement index. We also have the ATR or average true range there at the bottom in blue. So markets have not yet closed, but you can see that Alibaba is up over 3.5% today. As always, we start off with the weekly chart to provide context. As stated in the previous video, which you can watch by clicking the link on the top right, the stock is in a strong weekly downtrend that cut through its sloppy but still relatively established uptrend since its IPO. Well, since after its IPO, this kind of, you could argue that this was somewhat of a trending move, although it was sloppy here. And the only thing that matters is that it's cut right through it. So if I can grab this and just extend it, yeah, you can see that it's cut right through it. It's in a downtrend. The upward sloping trend is now done. We can see it's below all the weekly moving averages. And the MACD is negative, pointing negatively, and not divergent. And this divergent means that there is a previous proximate low in the MACD that is lower than the current one. I explained this in a number of my other videos, and I might put out a specific video just for it so that you know what I mean when I'm talking about momentum divergence. All this tells me is that it is very risky to look at Alibaba here as a potential buy and hold for the long term. Right now, we are only focusing on bounces, as it is probable that given the weekly context, moves higher will be faded as they were in early September. We can see that better on the daily time frame, so let's get to that because there's not much else to say in the weekly. On the daily, we see that the stock is below all the moving averages, but what do we see here on the daily MACD? Let me actually remove the ATR just so you can see it better. Well, we have a low here, and what looks like it could be a second subsequent low that is higher than the previous low. You see? We all know that this is what we call potential bullish divergence. This tells us that on the daily time frame, especially with its move today, the near-term downside potential is losing ground to the upside potential, as it did here. But we can only see that in the lower level time frames, which we will get to in a second. So this means that we could have a bounce. In fact, the stock is up 3.5% today. So we actually already are in any potential bounce that we could see. And now, as a technical analyst, we have to determine what the nature of this move will be and how to take advantage of it by entering at the optimal point. So let's go down to the hourly to take a closer look. On the hourly, we can see the MACD divergences, 3 of them. So we have a low here, we have a slightly higher low here, we have a slightly higher low than the previous low and the one before it. So that really explains this move here. And the question is, how much further can that go? You know, how much strength can we attribute to this type of a technical divergent move, especially given the negative context that it's in? Now, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, one of two things is going to happen here. Either the stock gaps higher tomorrow and sort of keeps going or pulls back. In that case, if that is what happens, I will not be chasing the stock higher unless I get a nice MACD pullback divergence on the hourly, or at least on the 30 sometime later. We can see that we have a positive histogram here. See this green line here? These green histograms here. Like we had here, and like we had here. And we note that these green positive moves resulted in moves lower. See? Positive histogram, move lower. Positive histogram, well, geez, we're already moving lower towards the end of the day. So, with that said, given the current technical setup, looking at it from a risk-reward perspective, I don't want to take the risk of this stock potentially moving lower. So I'm not entering. That's why I stated earlier that's what's happening. Now, in the second potential scenario, the one that I favor, the one that I want, the stock comes down one more time here. Maybe it's a little choppy. It consolidates, and then it provides potential optimal long entry. So it could be something like, the stock consolidates for the rest of the week, and then on Thursday or Friday, it presents a really interesting entry potential, maybe on the 30-minute time frame, and then we get a nice 3% move higher on Thursday or Friday. And if you use near-term options, then you know exactly what type of returns those would produce. Now, if that scenario takes place, then I would call that an absolute gift, because usually the market doesn't give me exactly what I want. But right now, I'm not chasing this. So if it goes higher, that's fine. I will keep an eye on it for the rest of the week. But this could be a very interesting move towards the end of the week. So the takeaway here really is that we remain in a nasty downtrend long term, and volatility will likely remain elevated for now. But there are some signals on the daily suggesting that the potential for a tradable bounce or a small turnaround here is real. But always be cautious and err on the side of safety, I would say. So with that, thanks for sticking around until the end. Subscribe if you want more of this type of analysis, because there will be opportunities in other stocks too, and I will find them for us, and we'll head to the moon together slowly and then suddenly. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow.